The sky was gray, heavy with the kind of clouds that seemed to echo the weight pressing down on a man's shoulders. Marcus Reed adjusted his fraying tie in the reflection of a dusty bus window, trying to summon confidence he didn't feel. Today was supposed to be the turning point. After months of rejection letters, side jobs, and sleepless nights, he finally had an interview at one of the city's biggest firms. A chance, maybe his only one, to give his 6-year-old daughter, Ava, the life she deserved. He whispered a prayer under his breath, clutching her small, hand-drawn good luck note in his pocket. But as the bus jolted to a stop and the minutes slipped away, Marcus had no idea that fate had already chosen a different path for him. Right finger if you believe in kindness, in second chances, and in the way life sometimes surprises us at the very moment we're about to give up, then please take a second to like this video, subscribe to Royal Stories, and share it with someone who needs a reminder that hope is never lost. When Marcus stepped off the bus, the city buzzed around him, suits rushing past, horns blaring, the smell of rain clinging to the air. His mind was set on the glass tower only a few blocks away where his interview awaited. But then he saw her. An older woman, maybe late 60s, standing at the curbside with grocery bags torn open, oranges rolling into the street, her frail hands trembling as cars sped by. People walked past, avoiding her eyes, too absorbed in their own worlds. Marcus froze for a second, torn between the clock ticking toward his future and the voice inside him that had been shaped by his late mother's words. Son, the measure of a man isn't what he achieves, but how he treats those who need him when it costs him the most. The decision took less than a heartbeat. He dropped his portfolio, the very one he had stayed up all night preparing, on the damp sidewalk and dashed into the street, waving his arms to stop traffic. Horns blared, drivers cursed, but Marcus kept going, scooping up the fruit, guiding the woman safely to the sidewalk. She was shaken, her breathing shallow, so he stayed with her, helped her sit, and carried her groceries back to her apartment several blocks away. By the time he reached the company building, sweat soaking through his shirt and his tie askew, the receptionist shook her head with pity. The interview was over. His chance was gone. The weight of it hit him all at once. He had chosen compassion over ambition, and now the little apartment where his daughter waited, coloring books spread across the floor, suddenly felt even smaller, even colder. That night, Marcus tucked Ava into bed and smiled for her sake, though inside he felt crushed. He couldn't tell her that her daddy might never escape the endless cycle of struggle. When she asked if he had gotten the job, he kissed her forehead and whispered, "Maybe tomorrow will be better." The days blurred together after that. Marcus picked up shifts delivering food, fixing things for neighbors, anything to scrape together rent. But one morning, as he carried Ava to school, a sleek black car pulled up beside him. The tinted window slid down, and a sharply dressed assistant leaned out. "Mr. Marcus Reed?" she asked. Confused, Marcus nodded, clutching Ava's hand. "My employer would like a word with you. She insists." Inside the towering office building where Marcus had once hoped to interview, he was escorted to the top floor. There, behind a polished oak desk, sat a woman with piercing eyes and an aura of authority softened by warmth. She was younger than he expected, maybe late 30s, her tailored suit whispering wealth and success. "I believe we've met," she said softly, sliding a familiar item across the desk, Ava's good luck note. Crumpled but cherished. Marcus's breath caught. It was the woman from the street. Except she wasn't just some stranger. She was Eleanor Hayes, the CEO of a multinational company, one of the most powerful women in the city. She explained how she had watched him that day, not only saving her groceries but risking his opportunity to help her without knowing who she was. She had investigated, learned about his background, his daughter, his struggles, and she had been waiting for the right moment to call him here. His chest tightened as she continued, "I need people in my company who choose integrity when no one is watching. People who understand responsibility, sacrifice, and heart. Marcus Reed, I'd like to offer you a position, not because you missed your interview, but because your character speaks louder than any resume. Tears stung his eyes. For years, Marcus had felt invisible, just another face in the crowd fighting to survive. Now, someone finally saw him, not for his failures, but for the man he was trying so hard to be. He thought of Ava, of the future that suddenly seemed brighter, of the hope he had nearly lost. From that day forward, Marcus's life transformed. His new job brought stability, respect, and most importantly, time to be the father he had always promised Ava he would be. He no longer had to choose between feeding her and chasing his dreams. At work, he rose quickly, not because of titles or prestige, but because he led with the same compassion that had once made him miss that interview. Eleanor became not just his employer but his mentor, reminding him that sometimes the path we fear losing is the very one that guides us to where we're meant to be. Years later, as Marcus watched Ava walk across the stage at her graduation, he thought back to that rainy day, that split-second choice. He realized that the true interview had never been in a boardroom. It had been on a street corner, when he proved to himself, and to a stranger, that character matters more than opportunity. Right finger, if this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that kindness can change everything, please like this video, share it, and subscribe to Royal Stories so we can continue bringing you tales of hope and resilience. Your support helps these stories reach others who may need a little light in their darkest hour. Sparkle's special request. Before you go, comment below, "Kindness always wins," to remind the world that compassion can open doors no resume ever could.